Hello friends, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what is a lease option. So what is a lease option? What is that term? What does it mean? Sometimes known as a rent to own option, but what is it? Well, by the end of this video, you'll understand the ins and outs of lease options, how they work, their benefits, and their potential pitfalls. This knowledge is going to help you understand whether this strategy is right for you or not as a real estate investor, as a landlord, or as a potential home buyer. Have you ever wondered how you could lock in a price on a home that you could buy down the road that you're actually renting right now? Well, that's exactly what a lease option is. And what is it about this strategy that makes it so attractive to traditional home buying or renting procedures? As we dive into this, I first want to explain the mechanics of a lease option. I'll next explain why they might be a smart financial tool for you to utilize. And finally, how I'm actually utilizing this tool, this strategy right now to bring in really good money. If you're ready to dive in, let's go. So as I began my real estate career, I realized that there was a lot of strategies, and under those strategies were a lot of sub-strategies. And it was very innovative, a lot more than I'd originally thought it was. For example, look at the term flipping a home. Traditionally, that's going to mean to buy a home at a low price and turn around and sell it or flip it at a higher price. But now, under that strategy of flipping, we've got sub-strategies like fix and flip. Fix and flip is when you buy a home at that low price, you fix it up, you put some lipstick on it, and you turn around and sell it for a higher price. Or the term a slow flip, which could mean you buy a home, you live in it for a period of time, you fix it up, and you turn around and you sell it. Or slow flip is also a strategy where you buy a home, from a private money lender, you buy the home outright, and you pay back that loan within 5, 6, 7 years, and you rent that out or sell or finance that home to somebody who's buying it from you on a 30-year mortgage where you're the bank. And that's a slow flip. So there are a lot of intricacies when it comes to strategies in real estate and underlying strategies under those broad strategies. And long-term rentals are no different. This is where you typically have somebody staying in a home for 12 months or more, paying you rent to live in the home or live in the asset or live in the unit that you own. And a lease option or a rent to own falls under the strategy of long-term rentals. But there's a couple of really interesting points that are associated with lease options. Essentially, a lease option is a longer-term lease with the option to buy that home at a certain date in the future at a certain price already negotiated at the beginning of the lease. What are the mechanics of a lease option, the things that are vitally important to make this work? Well, first off, just like any rental agreement, you have the lease, and that's going to detail out the specifics of the time that the person is leasing that property from you. Even if they're leasing to own, that lease is going to be important just like any other lease, any other rental agreement. It'll obviously detail out the rental price, the responsibilities of landlord, responsibilities of tenant, etc. However, with a lease option, they're not just renting, but they're renting with the desire to buy the home at a date in the future. So one other important point of a lease option is the purchase price that's negotiated between the buyer and the seller. Because even though it's not being bought right then and there, it might be bought 12 months from now, 24 months from now, 36 months from now, that price of the home is negotiated at day one, and both parties know that that price will be executed on at the end of the lease. Also within a lease option is something that is really cool if you're the buyer. So your monthly lease payment negotiated within that lease payment is a dollar amount that can be counted towards your down payment over the period of the lease. So let's say that rent is $2,000 in the place that you plan to buy 2 years from now. Now, let's say that you've negotiated $200 of that $2,000 is going to go towards the down payment. So if you're paying $200 a month, or if you're receiving $200 a month credit towards your down payment by that $2,000 a month lease payment, $200 times 12 is $2,400. Now, if your lease is 2 years, you times that by 2, you've now got $4,800 that you've accumulated, negotiated in the lease payment every single month that can go towards your down payment. So nearly $5,000 will be credited to you when you complete and execute the purchase of that home 24 months from now. So that is another aspect within a lease option agreement that is calculated. A certain percentage of the lease payment every month goes towards the down payment. And one of the most important pieces and mechanics of a lease option is the option price, right? So the option price is something you pay. It's typically 2 to 7% of the purchase price of the home. So let's say you're buying a $300,000 home. In order for you to have the the option to buy that home at a certain price at a certain date in the future requires you to pay an option price to do that. Like I said, 2 to 7%. So a $300,000 home, 2%, you'd pay $6,000. Now that $6,000 is credited towards the purchase of the home when you execute on it. But if you do not execute on the purchase of the home, the seller keeps that option price and doesn't owe anything back to you. So that's something to keep in mind, is that option price. It's similar to like a stock option. You maybe heard that term. The stock option gives you the right to purchase a stock at a certain price at a certain date in the future. So if you think a stock is going up and it's currently at $30 and you have the option to buy it at $30 6 months from now, and you will pay money up front for that option price, but let's say that it goes up to $40 and you can execute that option at $30 and turn around the next day and sell it for $40, that's a really good scenario. And that's similarly how lease options work on real estate. So what makes lease option a great tool for both the tenant and the landlord? As a tenant, it's a great tool because it allows you to be in a home that you want to buy and live there for a certain period of time. And if you're having a challenge getting a loan, being able to accumulate all the necessary financials you'll need for 12 months or 24 months, or even accumulating enough money for a down payment during that time period while building up a down payment reserve through the lease payment every month and the option payment that you made, could be a great tool to allow you to get your finances in order to eventually purchase the home down the road, but live in it at the same time. And as a home seller, this could be a fantastic tool. Let's say that the market isn't moving very much, that not a lot of homes are selling, but you think the market might pick up. You could find somebody who wants to rent the home, but let's say they potentially want to buy the home down the road. It's a great opportunity to make money with the asset you have by receiving that option payment and also by receiving a monthly payment that'll cover your mortgage and expenses. And eventually this person's plan is to buy that home from you at a certain date down the road. So it provides you an opportunity to have somebody in your home and paying the bills for you and eventually closing on your home. It provides a lot of options for you as the landlord or the seller. Going back really quickly to talk about another advantage as a seller that's really important, especially in today's market. Let's say that you have somebody go into your home and they pay you an option price to purchase it at a certain date in the future at a certain price. And let's say the market shifts or goes down. You've locked in that price. Now, chances are the person still might not execute on the home, but you've received that money at an option price that's not required to pay back. So when markets shift, a lease option is also a great advantage for you. Now, there could be a disadvantage if market prices jump up tremendously. It could also be a disadvantage because let's say that you got the home locked in here for somebody to buy it from you 2 years from now, and the market takes a huge swing upwards, and you're selling a home at $300,000 that could be valued at $400,000 right now. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but that could be a potential risk. So now that we know what lease options are, the mechanics of them, how they work, I'll tell you how I'm utilizing this strategy right now. So one thing I've been looking is in the Midwest, I've been going outside of some of these bigger cities to find homes that are below $100,000. Now, I'm going in and I'm finding these homes and I'm putting a low offer on these homes, and I'm only getting maybe 1 out of 15 that are actually being accepted, right? Because I'm looking for a really good deal on a home, and I'm getting some private money to buy that home outright. And even if I'm paying 12% interest on that money, let's say it's a $50,000 home, I'm paying 12%, I'm paying $6,000 a year or $500 a month for the private money to borrow that $50,000 at 12%. But let's say I find somebody who wants to lease option that they're willing to buy that home that I got at $50,000, and it originally might have been listed at $70,000 or $75,000. Let's say that I put the option to buy the home from me at 2 years down the road at $75,000. And let's say that I'm asking them for an option of maybe say 3% of the purchase price, which would be $2,000, which is a really low down for somebody, and they can live there for 2 years, and maybe let's say rents are $1,000, and I'll count $1,000 of that towards their down payment 2 years down the road. So $100 a month times 24 is $2,400. So they gave me $2,100 plus they've accumulated $2,400 and $100 a month from lease payments towards a down payment. They've got $4,500 credited towards their home. When they get traditional financing, they might not need to put any money down for that home. And if they're paying $1,000 a month, I'm taking $900 of that, put in my pocket. I'm paying $500 to my private money lender, and I'm pocketing $400. I call this strategy cash flow flipping, utilizing lease options to do this. And at the end of the 2-year period of time, I'm selling this home for $75,000. Now I'm crediting $5,000, roughly $4,500 towards that. So I take that roughly $70,000. I take $50,000 that, and I pay back the private money lender, and I've been paying him every year his 12% interest. He's happy because in 2 years, he's made 12% interest on $50,000, but now I've pocketed $20,000 plus my monthly rents every month of $400 a month net. Now there might be some expenses in there, let's call it $300, but if I pocket $300 a month times 1 year or 12 months, that's $3,600. For 2 years, that's $7,200. So I've pocketed nearly $20,000 plus $7,600, close to $27,000 on this strategy utilizing utilizing lease options. And this is one of the reasons why I love lease options. And I'd be interested in what feedback or what strategies you've done with lease options. Please comment below. Let's engage in a dialogue. And as always, just for stopping by and watching my channel, I've got a free gift for you. It is a short-term rental calculator where you put in the purchase price, the income, the expenses, and it will spit out to you whether it is a good deal or not. Saves you a ton of time. All you have to do is click on the link below, aaronsfreetraining.com. No obligation, 100% free. And once again, I appreciate you stopping by. Have an amazing day.